In a world crowded full of SUVs and trucks, reviewing a brand new sedan is always a refreshing change for me. And last year, Hyundai introduced the all-new version of their best-selling Elantra compact sedan. This is now in its 7th generation. And for 2022, there aren't very many changes. However, this week, Hyundai has loaned me this 2022 Elantra Hybrid Limited. It's essentially the most fuel-efficient version of the Elantra family, at least until Hyundai decides to come out with a plug-in hybrid version. And unlike the gas-only model, we actually have a powertrain that offers more torque underneath the hood and a conventional 6-speed stepped automatic transmission. It's technically a dual clutch. So if you guys are looking for a new commuter car that's sleek, stylish, full of tech, and will easily get you over 50 miles to the gallon, how does this brand new 2022 Elantra Hybrid stack up? Stay tuned to find out. Now, because this is the hybrid model, I want to first start with underneath the hood of this bad boy, because unlike the gas-only version of the Elantra, we do have slightly less horsepower, but we have significantly more torque, about 60 more pound-feet, and that's all courtesy of the electric motor that's paired with this gas engine. Now, underneath the hood, it's not much to see underneath here, but you do have a combination of a 1.6-liter naturally aspirated double overhead cam 4-cylinder that runs on the Atkinson cycle. It's paired up with an electric motor that adds roughly 43 more horsepower. The gas engine on its own makes about 104 horsepower. When you combine the two outputs together, it's not a straight conversion. You get 139 horsepower, but you get 195 pound-feet of torque. That's the same torque rating that you'll find in the 1.6 turbo that you'll find in the Hyundai Elantra N line, the turbocharged engine. So that's significantly more torque versus the gas engine, but you have about 5 or 7 less horsepower versus the 2-liter that you find in the regular Elantra. It all goes out through a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. That's right, it's got a dual clutch as opposed to a CVT or torque converter. This vehicle is only front-wheel drive. It's powered by a 1.32 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, so it's a full hybrid, but it's not a plug-in hybrid, so you're not going to get electric-only range. Fuel economy, you can get this up to about 54 mpg if you guys go for the Elantra Hybrid Blue, which is the base model. This limited version with its bigger wheels and tires drops it down to about 50 mpg combined. So it's about 49 city, 52 highway, which is pretty impressive numbers. The power and the fuel economy splits the difference between its main competitors, which is the Honda Insight and the Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Now, of course, the hybrid model is heavier versus the gas-only version. As this one sits, it weighs in at just over 3,000 pounds, so it's about 300 pounds heavier. Hyundai does not quote a 0-60 time, but we'll show you guys that when we get into the driving scene. Now, closing the hood, let's talk about the styling of the completely redesigned Elantra. Like I said earlier, this was brand new for 2021, and it still looks very good, even though it's been on the market for about a year now. I always constantly turn my head every time I see this new Elantra. Even painted in this black exterior color, it looks great in person, not so great on camera and for filming because it just shows a lot of dirt. You can see the front fascia of the Elantra still very much stands out. This has the company's signature Cascade grille with the geometric patterns. You can see the turn signal is just an incandescent. It's kind of nicely hidden within the actual geometric shapes in the grille with this kind of black chrome appearance. The Limited also comes with these full LED headlights, LED low and high beams, LED daytime running lights. No fog lights on this generation. Instead, you kind of have some functional air vents, and you can see here more of that black chrome. Overall, let me know in the comments below what you think of the styling. Unlike the Sonata, which Hyundai worked hard to get rid of the cut line between the front bumper and the hood, the Elantra kind of just proudly wears it because remember, this is supposed to be lower end in their lineup in terms of pricing. Now, looking at the rest of the side profile, you can see you wouldn't be able to tell that this is a hybrid from this angle or the front. Hyundai doesn't offer any distinctive clues. Usually they'll put like a hybrid badge on the side from other manufacturers, or they'll put these ugly looking wheels, but you can see not the case with the Elantra, at least this limited version. This 17-inch wheels on 225 tires also look really good. This does lower the fuel economy slightly. Remember, all Elantras continue to be front-wheel drive. Hyundai doesn't offer all-wheel drive on any Elantra. And this generation definitely got bigger when they redesigned it, about 184 inches long overall, 107.1 inch long wheelbase. This is a little bit longer than the Corolla and the Civic. And you can see lots of geometric shapes and cut lines that really make this vehicle stand out, make it look really sleek and stylish. In the side profile, you can see on the door panel, there's this interesting character line here that really gives it a distinctive look. The hybrid model, unlike the gas-only version, also comes with a fully independent rear suspension, a multi-link design. So that is going to improve the handling and the ride quality versus the regular Elantra. Looking at the back here, it has a lot of the swoopy coupe-like styling. It almost looks like it's a hatchback, a very sportback look. The hybrid model does come with these unique LED taillights. The brake lights and taillights are LEDs, but you can see the turn signal is just an incandescent. There's also one hybrid badge at the back here. And I don't really like the font. It almost doesn't really match the Elantra script there, but this is the only indication that you're driving a hybrid. No visible exhaust tips, which I kind of appreciate because remember, this is not a vehicle that's going to be any kind of performance car. And then if you want to get into the trunk of this vehicle, there's a button right here below the Hyundai logo. Push that. Trunk capacity is not affected whatsoever because the battery pack lives underneath the rear seat. And you get 14.2 cubic feet of space. That's on the higher end of the segment. The seats, as you can see, still fold down in a 60-40 manner, so you don't have to make a compromise there. And then underneath here, you even get a spare tire. A lot of hybrids typically remove the spare tire, but not Hyundai. They still give you all of that. So there's no compromises when you guys want to go with the hybrid powertrain. So let's briefly take a look at the interior of the all-new Elantra. I want to first show you guys the key fob. This is Hyundai's Smart Access key that you get with the Limited. It does include a remote start, but if you're looking for the Smart Park feature, you have to go for a more expensive version or a more expensive Hyundai model. As I open the door here, my black exterior is complemented by a black interior. I would have preferred a different color combination, but that's just a personal preference. You can see the seats look really nice. I like the design of the seats. I like the high quality leather. These seats are also heated and cooled. They offer a 10-way power adjustment, and you also get 2-person memory. So some vehicles in this segment don't even offer a memory feature or heated and cooled seats. So that's definitely a nice upgraded feature to have. Sadly, the door panel materials, very hard touch plastic, a little bit cheap there, but you see there is some soft touch plastic or soft touch leather material right here. And this is also nice and padded, which is nice. Although this could be stitched in leather, it could be a little bit nicer. Windows are one-touch auto up, down for the driver, but not for any of the other windows. So I would have liked to see Hyundai at least give us a one-touch feature for all 4, but that's kind of like a small quibble, although some competitors like the Corolla, I believe, offer that touch. Now getting inside, you can see stepping in, you do have to duck your head a little bit because of that sloping roof line. As I shut the door has a relatively solid sounding thunk, which is nice. And then once you have the key in here, Hyundai puts the start stop button here right where you'd expect it to be. And once the vehicle turns on, you can see it looks very impressive here with its 2 10-inch displays. Now I want to point out, these displays are only included on the full-on Limited version. The lower end models will have an 8-inch display here, and you won't have this fully digital display, but this is very Mercedes luxury car-like in here, so that's a really nice touch to have. You can see the steering wheel also is nicely leather wrapped. It offers a tilt and telescoping feature with a lot of adjustability of range. So it's a relatively easy car to get in and get a comfortable driving position. Your air vent is actually down here. This almost looks like it'd be an air vent, but it's actually nothing. This doesn't even light up. So it's just a design touch. I wish Hyundai had done a little bit more with that. The dashboard you can see has a soft touch injection molded plastic, but it feels like it's hard plastic. This area right here also is slightly padded, but again, it doesn't feel very nice to touch. Right here, it's all hard touch plastic. You have some aluminum look trim. You have a nice volume knob here with dual zone climate control. As I said earlier, heated and ventilated seats. Very nice, rare feature to find in this segment. And then down here, you can see wireless phone charging pad. You've got 2 USB ports over there. This is not wireless CarPlay. You have to downgrade to the 8-inch display to get the wireless CarPlay. When you put the vehicle into reverse, you can see just a regular backup camera with parking sensors. Hyundai does not offer a full 360 camera, which they don't necessarily need to on a vehicle of this size category. If you push this button here, you can see that'll bring up the backup camera. No heated steering wheel. I would like to see that. There's a blank button here where it looks like they could have had a heated steering wheel. This controls the conventional 6-speed auto. It has a manual mode and a sport mode. No paddles on the wheel. And then you can see the cup holders have a nice, interesting design where I can flip this around and I can make them a slightly deeper cup holder. Now, let me briefly talk about the infotainment system. You can see this 10.25-inch display looks good with the CarPlay. I just wish it was wireless. Going back to the Hyundai display here, you can see there's the factory embedded GPS as it loads up. You can also do a split screen, or you can get rid of the split screen and do a full screen. This isn't really any different than any other Hyundai product. It's pretty much on par with a lot of its competitors. I like Hyundai's latest Blue Link system. It works well. There's a unique hybrid display here that shows you your energy usage, your hybrid flow. The graphics on this look pretty decent. It shows you between the electric motor, the wheels, the battery pack, how much juice the battery has and whatnot. So that all is really easy to use. It's all within easy reach. And if you find the drive mode selector right here, you can see if I push that, it changes the way the gauge display looks. There's 3 different drive modes: normal, sport, and a smart mode. Smart is kind of their adaptive mode. Overall, here on the center console, you can see it's pretty deep. There is no power outlets in there, but there is a spoon and a fork that somebody left. Seats are pretty comfortable and supportive. Like I said earlier, full leather interior with heated and cooled. The glove compartment, you can see it just cheaply falls. It's a bin style. It's not damped or lined with felt. And then above me, you can see there is no LED lighting in this cabin, which would have been nice, but you do get a standard size sunroof that's included on the limited trim. Hyundai does not offer a pano roof. So overall, the interior is definitely full of the latest tech features. It looks a lot more expensive than it is. But I think for a commuter car, a lot of people are going to be pretty happy. I just wish that Hyundai had included a little bit nicer materials. They really cheaped out on some of the plastics for this new generation. So let's quickly take a look at the back seat of the newest Elantra. You guys are probably not going to be surprised to hear that it offers one of the biggest back seats in the segment because Hyundai made it larger this year in terms of the overall length and the wheelbase. Now back here, Hyundai says you get around 38 inches of legroom, which is among the highest in the segment. Because of that sloping roof, however, you do have to duck your head slightly while you're getting in. But once you get in at 5'7", I really had to duck my head there, I have a ton of space. Now shutting the door. Sadly, there are a bunch of cheap plastic materials back here, just like in the front seats. You can see soft touch, scratchy plastic, although it is padded over here, and this is also scratchy plastic, so that's kind of disappointing. Hyundai used to offer heated rear seats back here, but they kind of took that away with this newest generation, and I'm surprised to see no rear seat air vents or USB ports back here. It would have been nice for them to include one of those. There is one storage pocket on the passenger side. It's really just a storage net. And you can see the leather is perforated back here, so it could have heated back seats. There is basically one light back here. It's not even LED back here. The sunroof does take up a little bit of space. And you fold this down, you get an armrest with 2 cup holders. So aside from the extra room, which is nice, and the decent visibility, sad to see that Hyundai has really cut cost in the back seat, and it's basically been carried over from the cost cutting that you find in the front seat in terms of the materials and some of the features. So it's been about a year since I drove the brand new Elantra Hybrid. I was in California in Malibu at the first drive program where I got a chance to drive basically the entire Elantra family. So now that I have the hybrid just by itself for a week, it's giving me an opportunity to be able to test this vehicle a little bit more thoroughly. Now back then, I didn't have my 0 to 60 testing equipment, so I wasn't able to test what this vehicle can do 0 to 60 wise, so now we're going to rectify that. And this vehicle is on paper the least powerful of the Elantra family, but it also has about 60 more pound-feet of torque. So we're going to go ahead and put the transmission into sport mode. It's in sport mode already. We're going to turn off the traction control, and this vehicle is front-wheel drive, remember, and we're going to brake torque it slightly. Really laggy off the line there. You can feel the shifts from the dual clutch, which is weird. And first run, I got 8.3 seconds, 8.34 seconds, which actually is not a bad time. And I know for a fact this feels faster than the base engine Elantra because it's got all that additional torque. And the fact that it has a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. It's kind of opposite what, Honda and Toyota would do. You usually put a CVT on your hybrid versions, but the CVT that's on the regular Elantra isn't here. Instead, they use a dual clutch. But just like the regular Elantra, this vehicle feels a lot more premium, especially in this fully loaded limited grade. This is a really nicely well-equipped car. And if it's your everyday commuter car, it has decent acceleration. But you know what? Let's go ahead and try it out one more time here. Still in sport mode, still have the traction control off. I'm not going to brake torque it this time because it didn't do anything. Better reaction time. God, it really short shifts, it feels like. There's no tack. All right, there I got 9.2 seconds. And I'd probably say that's a little bit more of an accurate number. So we're just gonna say the 0 to 60 time is around 9 seconds for this car. which is actually quicker than the last Corolla Hybrid that I drove. The Corolla Hybrid was about a second slower than this vehicle, and you definitely noticed that a lot when you were driving the car. Now, the one thing that I really appreciate about the Elantra Hybrid is the fact that even though this is not a plug-in hybrid, it's just a full hybrid with a very, very small 1.32 kilowatt hour battery pack, it does have the ability to drive on electric power alone at certain speeds. Like right now, there's an EV, well now the indicator shut off. Anytime you go near the throttle a little bit more and ask for more power, it basically turns the gas engine on. But this vehicle I found at lower speeds and up to maybe like 30, 40 miles an hour, if you're really light on the throttle, it will coast around in just pure electric only mode, which is really nice considering the fact that this is not a plug-in hybrid vehicle. I've also switched the drive mode back to its smart setting, which is an adaptive setting. And we're just gonna coast around normally, because this is how most people are going to drive the Elantra Hybrid. It's a commuter car. You're not going to be flogging this thing trying to get the fastest 0 to 60 times. And the hybrid model has the fully independent suspension that you find in the N-Line model and the upcoming Elantra N. So this has a better ride quality than the gas-only Elantra. It handles a little bit better. It's got a relatively smooth ride. There is a little bit of road noise that I'm hearing. It's a little louder than I expected, but it's not anything that you wouldn't expect to hear in a compact car. Remember, this is not a luxury vehicle. It's still an economy compact car, although the manufacturers are doing a really good job of just making these vehicles feel a lot nicer than they actually are. You can see brakes feel pretty good. These are regen brakes, and we're gonna try to coast along in EV mode. You can feel the transmission shift, although there the gas engine turned on. You can actually feel the dual clutch shift gears when it's in electric mode, which is weird because you'll feel it kind of go like in the power delivery, which is just an odd feeling in an electric car because there's no noise. And then when you let off the brake or the throttle, it does have very, very minuscule regen braking. But with such a small battery, you don't really need to worry about something like that because the gas engine's always going to be on to recharge the vehicle. And I also really like driving this vehicle normally. The seats are comfortable. I can see out of the new Elantra really well. The dash is nice and low, even though I've got these two massive screens, which look fantastic. I feel like I'm driving a much more expensive car. And you can see out of the back really good, view out of the sides are good. This particular one here has all of Hyundai's driver assistance tech, like their highway driving assist, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control with low speed follow or lane. And it also has like the driver attention assist. You can hear, still in electric mode. Okay, there's the gas engine turned on. But that's what I really like about these new hybrid vehicles is I just get a lot of fun out of just driving the vehicles in pure electric mode. And it also does wonders for the fuel economy. In my week's worth of testing, in a mixture of highway and city, this car was averaging about 45 miles to the gallon, which is really good, although it's about 3 mpg less than what the EPA rated it. On the highway, I got 51 miles to the gallon, which is basically bang on with the EPA's targets. Really excellent gas mileage. Although I believe the Corolla Hybrid did get slightly better numbers because it does use a CVT, it's slightly more efficient. But I'd argue that this car is available with a lot more tech. It's more fun to drive. It doesn't look quite as boring as the Corollas or basic as the Corolla Hybrid. And then of course there's the Honda Insight, the new one, which I haven't driven it in a few years. It is probably due for a refresh. Not entirely sure how it's doing for Honda sales-wise, but I don't see very many Insights out on the road. I do see plenty of these new Elantras, just not necessarily the new hybrid model. But I'm trying to decide, would I choose this over the gas-only version? I probably would, especially if I was looking for a commuter car. You just have to keep in mind, this is about $3,000 more expensive than the regular gas-only Elantra, but you do get some upgrades, such as the 15 mpg improvement in fuel economy. You get better torque, 60 more pound-feet of torque, so a quicker 0 to 60 time, and you get that independent rear suspension that improves the ride quality and the handling. So yes, I probably would go for the hybrid model if I was looking for a commuter car. And just keep in mind, out of all these C-segment or compact mainstream vehicles, the Honda and the Corolla are the only ones that offer a hybrid variant. VW doesn't offer a hybrid, Mazda doesn't offer a hybrid, Kia doesn't offer a hybrid on the Forte. And this segment is definitely shrinking. There's no American options. The Cruze was discontinued, the Focus was discontinued, the Dart was discontinued a long time ago. So as the segment continues to shrink, your choices are also shrinking, but the Elantra, the new one, is definitely up there in terms of my tops. It is one of my favorite just regular commuter cars. And if you don't want to make the full jump to full electric, you're trying to save some money, and you must drive a sedan, this is a really solid pick. I probably would just choose a different color versus this black exterior. So if you guys are looking for an affordable and efficient new commuter car and you must not drive an SUV, you're one of the few people who refuse to drive a sport utility vehicle after spending a week with the brand new 2022 Elantra Hybrid, I'm pretty impressed with the overall package here. As you guys saw, I easily averaged well over 40 mpg on the highway. You can easily get that 50 mpg number. It offers surprisingly spirited performance with 0 to 60 times in the 9-second range, which is perfectly acceptable, a little bit faster than the last Corolla Hybrid that I tested. I'll have to retest the latest Honda Insight Hybrid. And as you guys can also see, the limited model is packed full of features. Love the two 10-inch displays. Love the fact that you can get heated and ventilated seats, although I was surprised to see it was missing a heated steering wheel. And I also love just the overall driving feel. That independent rear suspension improves the handling, improves the ride quality. And this is still one of the sleekest looking sedans out there. I mean, sure, there are some quibbles that I have with the car. I wish Hyundai would consider offering all-wheel drive, and they also should consider offering a plug-in hybrid version of this vehicle. They have technically the setup available in the Tucson, although I haven't driven the plug-in hybrid model of that vehicle yet. But really, if you guys are looking at the Elantra and you're trying to decide between the gas only and the hybrid version, probably just go for the hybrid because you get a lot for the extra $3,000 that Hyundai charges. The extra torque, the 15 mpg or mile per gallon improvement over the gas-only version, and the independent rear suspension. So if you basically want to go for the hybrid model, they start at around $24,500 for the base blue version, which gets better gas mileage. Add about $4 grand if you guys want the limited version that gives you all of the extra stuff, including those LED headlights, which I would highly recommend. My tester here with Destination is right around $29,400, which again is pretty expensive. It's a little more expensive than the last Corolla Hybrid, but as you can see, it has a lot more tech. It looks a lot sleeker and it gets a little bit less gas mileage, but it also is significantly faster. So I would say it's worth the extra charge. The Insight is going to roughly cost about the same for a touring version, although the Insight gets less mpg on paper. I'll have to wait until I can retest one of those to see where it stacks up between the latest Elantra and the latest Corolla. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on this brand new 2022 Elantra Hybrid Limited. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.